Thanks, Wanxiang Blockchain, for having us together. So our topic is about blockchain development, but from global perspective. Today we have three panelists on-site and online. So I'm Liu Feng from Chainnews, crypto and blockchain media here in China. So first, I would like to invite our panelists to introduce yourself one by one. Who are you, where are you, and what do you do? So, Yu, perhaps you can go first.
好，因为在中文社区啊，所以就以中文的方式来跟大家进行一个讨论。
没问题。So, for panelists who can speak Mandarin, please try our best to speak Mandarin. We can try our best to make this panel bilingual.
好，大家好，我叫于毅，来自 Harmony， 目前在 Harmony 担任中文社区的一个管理负责人。主要负责 Harmony 在中文社区的组建、维护以及生态方面的发展。在这里也顺便打一个小小的广告，相信有一些朋友也知道了，最近 Harmony 提出了一个高达3亿美金的一个扶持基金计划，主要是针对我们的社区和开放发展提供在多链 DeFi、NFT 和道方面的扶持资金。所以在场各位如果有什么想要在 Harmony 上进行构建应用的想法和打算，也欢迎随时与我们联系。你只需要来到我们的链上来申请一个 grant， 就可以开始您的构建了。好，谢谢。
Okay, David.
好，你好，因为首先也要感谢主办当局邀请我这次到线上呢跟大家分享跟一个研讨会。所以我希望今天可以用中文跟英文，相互的跟大家交谈。我是现在身在新加坡，因为疫情的原因，很想到上海去，但是就是这一次没办法到。那我主要是在新约瑟克大学的一个教授，我的研究范围就在区块链跟金融科技，同时我也是新加坡区块链学会的合创办者。也最近也创办了一个叫做 Global FinTech Institute， 就是全球的金融科技学院。我们也开始了一个新的这个专业的文凭，叫做 Chartered FinTech Professional。所以我最近忙的话就是忙这一方面的业务。然后同时我也是新加坡经济学会的副会长。那我研究的范围呢，主要就是在CBDC， 就是央行数字货币。也跟不同的国际机构呢交流跟交换各种的意见。好，谢谢你，于。
Thanks, David. Jerome, it's your turn.
Thank you, and sorry I don't speak very well Mandarin yet. I'd love to get it better, so can't wait to be able to travel here and practice my Mandarin. And thank you for having me in this panel. So my name is Jerome de Tichet. I'm based in Paris. And I'm the CEO and founder of a blockchain gaming company called Cometh.io. And I worked previously at Ledger and Consensus. I'm also here to represent a nonprofit called Ethereum France. We host a conference every July in France. And I hope many Chinese actors will come to ETHCC next year. Very happy to be here and very happy to chat with you.
So our topic is about blockchain development from global perspective. So first question, I hope you guys can share some observations about the most impressive progress or change in your region. For example, do you see any technology or research breakthrough, or what kind of regulatory landscape change, something else? Yeah, please share the observations from your side. Jerome, would you go first?
Yes, sure. So I think there are three types of breakthrough that we can see in EMEA, so the European region. The first one is regarding the venture capital investment. This year was a very good year for the European startups. Just looking at the French startups in the blockchain space that raised successful rounds, you have Storer, a football NFT gaming company that did a pretty big raise this year. You have Ledger, a company that I used to work at that now is valued more than a couple of billion. And on the side of the venture capitalist breakthrough, you have also an institutional breakthrough with major classic companies going in the blockchain space and going there very seriously. Two examples, Louis Vuitton and LVMH started a blockchain project called Aura, O-U-R-A, and they have been joined in this project by two major actors, Prada and Richmond, in order to create a traceability blockchain solution and everything based on NFT and creating a new experience for their clients with this. But luxury, it's not the only sector that has been seeing many movement in our region. You also have classic traditional finance, such as Société Générale, a major bank in France that has a blockchain division called Forge. Last year, they emitted a security token that was real estate loans, but tokenized, so tokenized real estate loans. And a couple of months ago, they applied to be a collateral for MakerDAO. So if this proposal passes the MakerDAO, the MakerDAO process, you will be able to use real estate tokens, real estate loans token as collateral to create DAI on the Ethereum blockchain. So that marks a big change in how we see the traditional finance looking at our space. Even banks like Société Générale are considering decentralized finance as a way to refinance their loans, and it's a good connections between traditional emission of loans, tokens, and traditional emission of stablecoins. But venture capital breakthrough, institutional breakthrough, you also have regulatory breakthrough. The European Commission and the European region at large have started to regulate crypto assets. The regulation is called MiCA, M-I-C-A, for Market in Crypto Asset Industry. It's pretty complex regulation with over 168 pages, so I'm not going to go into details of what it means, but just to give you major direction that Europe is taking in the regulation space. First, they put a lot of emphasis on how to regulate stablecoins. They are also putting in place an obligation for project owners to publish white papers and collaborate with market authorities on what the white paper is and what their projects are. They are also regulating market influencers, so people that goes on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter saying you should buy this, you should buy that. This is going to get regulated in Europe. And they are also looking at how they can regulate the access of retail investors to crypto. But overall, those three trends, I think, are a good marker of the maturity and the gain of maturity of our ecosystem. And the next steps, I hope, will be having a better collaboration between the Chinese market and the European market.
Okay. David, any observations from your side for Singapore or for Pan-Asia Pacific region?
Yes, thank you, Liu Feng. I agree with Jerome that we are seeing almost a similar type of development over here in Singapore. I think we have never been busier over the last 2 years, and the last 12 months is especially busy. We are seeing a lot of blockchain companies converging into Singapore, and not only blockchain companies, but financial companies. And we are seeing a lot of fund managers. We're seeing a lot of family offices. They're bringing their funds to set up in Singapore. So what is most interesting about Singapore is the top-down and the bottom-up approach. From the top-down, if you look at from the government perspective, is that the government is very involved in investing in the sector. the government has invested in a lot of blockchain companies, from decentralized identity to chip designing to crypto exchanges and many other projects that they are getting involved in. And then if you look at the regulation side, Singapore has been fairly innovative in many perspectives. They have the consultation paper for tokenization, we call it Omnibus Act. We have also seen that the licenses are being issued out for new payments player, especially those related to the blockchain community. We have also seen that the government has been signing a lot of digital trade agreement within the Asia-Pac region, attracting a lot of collaboration from the top-down perspective. And also the Singapore government and China has been very active in promoting regional trade agreement, and that is actually very important for the storage of data for blockchain, because I think storage of data involves Privacy Act and protection, can only solve at the top-down level between G to G. And those efforts we have seen over the last 24 months, especially with China, are bearing fruits for the Asia Pacific. And in the entrepreneurial sector, I would like to be a bit daring to say that you are involved in blockchain, you do not have anyone who represents you or your company in Singapore, is a pity, because the whole international community are converging in this very small island. Despite the fact that with COVID-19, there's still a lot of one-to-one meeting among all the different companies, and you can meet almost any business organization related to blockchain. So this is a very small place, but it's very international, and the community is also growing exponentially, and we can, in fact, you can meet almost any of the representatives from any of the companies, and people are still traveling in and out of the country. So, and I have seen quite a lot of companies moving their headquarters to Singapore as well. They have actually moved from different regions, whether from Europe or from Ireland or from America or from China or from other places. They moved to Singapore and set their base there. And I also seen also that a lot of families are now setting up. The families are moving to Singapore as well. So in terms of technology as well, the universities are getting a lot of grants from the government to do research in blockchain as well. So those are the new development, and also funded by a lot of other blockchain companies. They are coming to Singapore and fund some of this research. So that's my report from Singapore.
So David, can I say that Singapore nowadays is kind of a hub for the whole crypto or blockchain or fintech things in Asia Pacific, correct?
I would say that we become a very important node for various reasons, because there is a very pro-business environment, and Singapore really welcome foreign talent into the country, especially in many areas related to digital economy. Because I think in Singapore, we believe that the digital economy will grow much faster. For a country with 5 million population, there's not much that we can grow in the physical side of things, but in the digital economy, we can grow a lot. And therefore, the environment for business is very pro-blockchain. And if you look at the regulation and so on, it doesn't matter whichever area that relates to blockchain, you will find a place to run your business.
If we talk about geographic change, Jerome, can I say Lisbon is kind of emerging hub in Europe?
Yes, that's right. Well, we like to say that Lisbon is maybe the San Francisco of Europe, if in the blockchain space. Two or three reasons for that. First off, it's sunny and good life here in Lisbon. I was in Lisbon last week for LisCon, and you can see the ecosystem is very vibrant there. One reason is fiscal taxes about crypto is close to zero. The treatment is really pro crypto there. And lastly, you get the proximity in terms of time zones to London. It's the same time zones as London, and also much closer to New York than say Paris or Berlin. So yes, Lisbon is definitely emerging as a good center for crypto in Europe. But other cities like Paris and Berlin and London are also concentrating much of the brain power. But the wealth is naturally going to Lisbon because of the fiscal treatment at the moment.
于一，你愿意分享些什么？
好，我主要讲一下我们 Harmony 团队所在的美国区块链区域的发展。最令人比较深刻的是，美国区块链领域的发展是区块链这项事物真正开始深入并影响到人们的现实生活。并且随着现在区块链领域的技术和赛道的相互交叉，共同形成一个越来越繁荣的一个区块链的一个生态。接下来我主要从2个比较显著的点来讲一下这方面的影响。第一个是 NFT，NFT 随着最初代的，也就是 NFT 1.0时代的CryptoPunks，也就是非常基础的图片类型的一个 NFT，逐渐进化到现在所谓的 NFT 2.0，也就是文艺复兴时期的 NFT。其中的代表就是像 OpenSea、CryptoKitties、加密猫这些。然后这个时候，人们开始真正用加密猫，以及他们从那个 OpenSea 上买到的NFT 来作为自己社交网站的个人头像。然后而随着像更新的像最新的NFT。NBA Top Shot 的开发上线 ，NFT 这一块领域开始真正与现实生活中的一些超级巨星、名人开始取得了联动，然后 NFT 这项事物也开始真正被人们所熟知，并且作为一项收藏品开始风靡起来。而到现在 NFT 的3.0，像包括 Harmony 在内的众多公链和众多项目都在开始探索像 INO、Pioneer Alpha 就是一种科幻风格的一个卡牌类的 NFT 和NFT 加，包括 NFT 加 Game、NFT 加 DeFi、NFT 加 DAO 以及多链 NFT 这方面的发展，来更多层次的、更深层次的、更多样性的来深入影响到人们的现实生活。然后第2个点来讲到是一个游戏。大家众所周知，传统领域的游戏实际上这个市场是非常庞大的，玩家也非常多。像全球的游戏领域的市场份额每年基本上在1000亿美金以上，然后玩家也在10亿以上。但是传统领域的游戏，它的缺点是非常显著的。不仅它游戏内的资产玩家没有自主权，然后也无法得到一个很好的一个流动性，并且游戏机制以及游戏内部的资产供应其实是相当不透明的。当然，更坏的结局就是，现在其实大部分的游戏市场份额的利润被少数几个巨头平台，像 Google、像App Store、像那个 Facebook 这些所垄断了。而除了一部分真正的职业玩家和职业主播以外，大部分的普通玩家其实并不太能从游戏中获取多少收益。而现在随着像AXIE 等区块链游戏的到来，就改变了这一切。像区块链游戏，它依靠着区块链本身的去中心化、它的一个透明度、它的一个分布式治理等等多方面的一个显著优点，来解决了传统游戏本身存在的诸多问题。不仅确保了玩家的资产它的自主权，以及资产能够在一个公平公开的一个市场上进行自由交易，并且还保证了整个游戏机制和游戏内的资产供应的一个相当程度的一个透明度。所以以阿谢为首的这些游戏类的项目，才真正的让所有玩家受益，而不是让游戏这一项事物它的大部分利润都流向了少数几个巨头公司的股东。好，我讲的就是这些，谢谢。
谢谢。For next question, maybe we can zoom in and talk about the key players in our sector. For example, one of creator or key players in this industry is developers. And from the demand side, perhaps the most important player would be, when we talk about adaptation, we should think about the enterprise. Yeah, they need this technology to change themselves. So let's zoom in. So I would like to invite you guys to talk about, for example, do you see real smart guys? I mean, the top developers, top university students, researchers, or enterprise enter into blockchain space. Do you see the trend? So perhaps, David, would you like to share some observations from your side?
Thank you, Liu Feng. Indeed, I'm seeing a lot of top regulators and top bankers and as well fund managers moving into the area of blockchain. Singapore is not known for its developers because we are a very small country, but we are known for finance, we are known for wealth management, we are known for business environment, we are best known for project management with a lot of professionals. Professionals include the lawyers, auditors, and so on. So you can see that there's a huge inflow of the professionals, regulators, and also fund managers into the area. And I think they see a gap in terms of regulation. You need to have good regulation and standards for this industry to take off. And you are in the regulatory environment and you are familiar with that. There's a lot of opportunity for you to excel in that. And also for many of the university researchers and also graduates, they are in high demand in many of the companies that set up the headquarters here for many areas, including for trading, including managing of the client's money in crypto, including many things to do with tax advisors and so on. In terms of developers, we are a little bit behind in the sense that we have a small number of people, but the universities are also conducting a lot of new courses in those areas. So in no time, there will be a core group of people who are good in that. But as of now, I think we are still relying a lot of onto the developers in whether it's from San Francisco, whether it's from China, Vietnam, Indonesia, or Europe. Or some of them are based in Bali or other resorts area, Australia. So we're relying a lot of developers in other areas, but they are in great demand. They are in great demand not only in the blockchain space, but also that we are developing digital bank and so on. So those are the gaps that we have. And I think Singapore welcome anyone who's top developer to relocate to Singapore or can work from your own country, but work with the project in Singapore.
So most are kind of international talent.
Yes, they are all international talents, and you could see that most of the founders of most of the top open and public blockchain, they will visit Singapore very often, but they too, some of them live in Singapore.
So, Jerome, when we talk about deep tech, when we talk about cryptographic innovation, mostly we will talk about America, talk about Silicon Valley. Yeah. So do you see any? As you said, we observe several well-known European companies, brands are practicing in this field. So do you see any change of European developers to grow up?
Yes, totally. If you look at the core developers of protocols like Ethereum, you see that many of them are from Europe, whether it is France, Germany, Bulgaria, those countries have a positive bias towards mathematics and cryptographics, and they got naturally absorbed by this space. About key players in the crypto industry, you have Aave and Ledger that are delivering both the B2B retail crypto market and the B2C retail crypto market and the B2B market with traditional institutions that are now working with Aave or working with Ledger. Historically, the fundamental research in mathematics and cryptographics have been very strong in Europe, but before blockchain, those researchers lacked a good way to make money with their research. They were just academics. And now that we have the blockchain as an opportunity, they are slowly but surely migrating into this space. I know a couple of very early stage projects that involve researchers that are 40 something with a lot of publications, and now they want to find applications of the research they did before. And it also translates into the younger generations. Top engineers from the top schools in France, in the UK, or in Germany are now looking at the blockchain space very seriously. Before, there were traditional prey for big companies, big consulting companies, or big utility companies. But now the time has changed. They look at blockchain and entrepreneurship as more of a traditional way to make a career. They want faster career. They want direct exposure to value creation, and what industry can give them this kind of output? Well, the blockchain industry is the natural target to have for them. And also, when you talk to them directly and you want to recruit those top engineers freshly out of school, you can feel that they have values, they have ideals that they want to follow in the blockchain space. They feel like they are part of a movement, part of a change in the industry, and they go to see a traditional blockchain company or a DeFi company or a hardware company, and they feel very well with the general ambience and value that those industries are pursuing. And the last thing that is I think very important is that the American VCs are looking at those projects, are looking at those young generation and heavily investing in them. So it's not even a problem of salary, because they will get the same wage working for a consulting firm than working for their own startup. And we start to see also Chinese VC looking at European startups, targeting young generations and building the future with them.
Okay, thanks. Yu, okay.
好，这个问题我还是讲一下针对哈姆林团队所在的美国那边的一些情况。就随着区块链在美国的兴起，为整个美国的科技界带来了一场全新的一个驱动力，并且这种驱动力现在正在试图重塑全球的金融体系，也就是 DeFi 和 DeFi 相关的一切，和整个的组织治理机制，也就是 DAO。正是这一种重塑所带来的强大的驱动力，才吸引了包括美国在内全球的各个领域的顶尖人才投身到区块链的领域当中。而从我个人的理解来看的话，我觉得区块链领域的核心创新其实并不在于是产品，而是与区块链本身的自主、它的公平、它的开放、它的可兼容性、它的可组合性。和各种各样的组织性以及分布式治理相关的一种创新机制，也就是这种创新机制才吸引了来自全球的顶尖人才投身到这个行业当中，使区块链领域的很多创新的一些理念真正落到了实处，让 DeFi 和 DAO 真正落入现实，也让整个美国开始掀起一场真正的数字革命。
Okay. For last question, we talk about global matters. Blockchain should be a kind of global technology. Technology is global and the market is global. However, we must see, we can see the gap from different regions. So for most of participants of this conference are in China, so we can talk something about for China. For our foreign guests, would you like to share your kind of a perception about the blockchain sector development here in China? And would you like, first, please share your perception about this industry's in development here in China. And second, would you like to provide some tips, advice to, to us, kind of participants in this industry in China? Yes, please, David.
我用中文讲吧。
Yes, please.
我觉得就跟几年前我讲过，就中国将会是区块链使用一个最大的市场，因为有14亿的人口，然后在从中央来看的话，它对区块链这个科技呢特别重视，而且它有很多智慧城等等，包括现在我们谈到的元宇宙等等的话，将来在中国肯定会这中心化的元宇宙呢，肯定会在中国呢很快速的指数型的这个增长，所以国内的需求呢，对区块链说肯定会非常的大。那在国内发展呢，是一个非常好的一个方向，因为我觉得市场够庞大，而且从上而下的，不管是上层下层对这个科技的了解呢，都相当的深，而且人才济济，资金雄厚。所以中国呢，在中心化的这个元宇宙来说呢，会有很大的这个发展的空间。区块链呢能够扮演的角色呢，肯定是非常重要的。那我就是如果是从新加坡的角度来看的话，因为新加坡的国情不一样，我们国家比较小，那我们比较注重就是非许可链，就是所有的这个公有链，我们比较注重这个比私有链更加注重，因为从新加坡的角度来看，我们只有500万人口，如果要服务14亿人口的话，那就必须要去中心化，因为这样的话我们才能够布局全球。所以国情不一样，那就跟中国呢就会可以互惠互补，就是从我们的这个新加坡来看的话，我们必须要把这个元宇宙呢看成一个去中心化的虚拟世界，那任何人都可以参与。那我们的科技方面呢，就跟中国一样，就是比较注重隐私保护，这中国非常重要。那同样在新加坡这个也是非常重要，但是因为公有链的话，可能在新加坡我们在研究方面就可能比较注重在公有链里面的隐私保护啊，包括我们的防作恶分子啊等等的话，我们会加强这方面的这个投资，跟加强这方面的这个研究，所以从对中国的朋友来说的话，可能国内的发展的方向呢已经足够了，但是如果你要向外走的话，可能必须要注意到公有链的发展，然后还有公有链不管是硬件跟软件方面的一些科技的发展，他们的创新的能力肯定比私有链呢强得多。这个包括全球的话，所以我就是比较冒昧的说一句话，就是说市场够庞大了，那可能接下来5年10年内循环的话，大家都会做得风生水起，这个肯定的在中国，但是如果要走出去的话，可能在10年之后，那可能就要同时注意到公有链，尤其是在网络安全以及在防作恶分子方面的一些科技呢，可能要跟其他的国家，欧美也好，新加坡也好，密切的合作。
谢谢。So Jerry, I can give you very quick my takeaway about David's sharing. She said that China has very huge market, so metaverse might be very important for this country. Second, for tips, David said that perhaps if this industry in China want to go out of this country, perhaps the public chain would be very important for Chinese players to catch up. Yeah. So just for your understanding the dialogue. So Jerry, what is your sharing?
So I'm picking up Chinese at the moment. So I was trying to listen what David said, and you give me a much better understanding of what he said. But on my end, I don't think the Chinese players needs to catch up at all. I will be very humble and I don't have any specific advice to them. For me, when we organized a conference in France, we look at the people that are sponsoring or that are going to conference like Wanxiang Blockchain Week, and we discover those actors. Like we suddenly realize that there are lending protocols, there are major games, there are major DeFi products, there are major blockchain that we didn't hear about before. So that's a surprise for us because they are oftentimes massive in terms of adoption, in terms of locked value, in terms of volume they deal with, and they have little to no reach to our region. And when we look at the quality of the code, we are like, wow, those guys really know what they are doing. And yet we don't collaborate, we don't really talk to each other. So I don't have a specific advice, but you said the market is global, but beyond the market, you have the open source code, you have utilities that engineers reuse here and there. It's super important to continue to grow this global market through a global community that collaborate with each other, that exchange best practices, that share knowledge on what they are doing, and also to meet each other, to understand the problem that we faced in our market and how we try to solve it, and understand the problem that you faced in your market and understand how you solved it. So yeah, I don't think China needs to catch up at all, but more collaboration, more partnership will probably help Chinese player accelerate faster compared to their local competitors, and maybe help build bigger product or bigger market by collaboration with European and US firms.
于一，因为Harmony 是一个美国的团队，但是其实在中国也一直在努力在发展社区，然后我觉得你可以分享一些你的看法。
好，我跟大家也分享一下我个人对于中国区块链这一块的看法。首先是对于中国这边的那个区块链技术而言，我觉得更多的还是聚焦在那个应用层次这一个场景这一个层面上。从那个商品的追溯，包括上午有嘉宾讲到的像普洱茶的那个产地追溯，以及发票的真伪鉴定，像我们都用过的微信里面的发票，其实它也是用到了区块链的技术。通过这种发现更多的社会应用场景，来让区块链的技术越来越深入人心，这是从技术层面的一个解读。而对于中国的玩家而言，因为刚刚几位嘉宾也都讲到了，中国其实市场非常的庞大。作为中国的玩家，我觉得还是要发掘一下自身的优势，从小的地方开始寻找区块链切入的契机。比如说水电煤以及生活当中用到了很多的一些东西，其实都可以通过区块链的方式进行重塑。然后从小到大，到我们城市里面的路灯等等的控制，以及整个大的智慧型城市的一个发展，其实都是可以用到区块链这一项的技术的。我觉得只有从这种真正实际应用层次的方向进行深入的了解、发现和探索，才能够不断的利用到区块链的边界效应，然后共享到整个区块链领域的一个发展的一个优势。
Okay, thank you guys. We have to close this session, and thanks for your sharing and insights. And let's keep dialogue, and let's try our best to bridge the gaps and communicate and help the industry grow together. Yeah, thank you guys.
谢谢。
谢谢。
好，谢谢大家。
谢谢。